We ranged it, and it's at 350 yards, so it's a minute of boulder at 350 yards, so we'll take it.
Oh, hey, you're awake. Here, you're gonna need this. Yeah, you took quite the hit back there. Come on. Welcome back to the Pours Are In Again. Today we were talking about another budget AR-15. We got a couple more coming down the pipeline very shortly. Been doing a lot of filming lately. So today's budget offering comes via Palmetto State Armory. Let's get into it. So who is Palmetto State Armory? They are primarily known as a budget AR-15 manufacturer, although lately they've been getting into clones of other firearms such as the AK-47, the Glock clone, or AKM, whatever, the AK dudes are losing their minds. They call it AK-47 on their website. Glock, the PSA Jackal, which is the ACR clone, and the SR-25 is another one that I've been kind of eyeing myself. All of those are kind of clones for a budget price compared to what others are offering them for, and in many ways they're not as reliable or as well manufactured in various instances, and their reputation isn't quite up to a lot of the true offerings. They're a behemoth and kind of the go-to for many people when it comes to budget AR-15s. Now, specifically, I'm talking about their budget and their very low-end AR-15s, and they do lower-end AR-15s all the way up into kind of mid, almost high tier, as well as they have like retro lines. In their mid to high tier lines, they have like Geisley handguards, Cold Hammer Forge FN barrels. So kind of like the more premium features that you're going to get on something like a BCM or a Geisley AR-15, but not quite to like the full built-out quality of those. But yeah, there's some of those options out there. But specifically, and I have to be specific because on the Bear Creek Arsenal video, I said their barrels aren't Cold Hammer Forged. And they do sell some options that are Cold Hammer Forged, but you're paying almost double what you would pay for that one. And same goes for this instance. This is a cheap option, but if you want those premium features, you're going to pay a premium price at other manufacturers or even with Palmetto State. So keep that in mind. So what are some of the features of this specific PSA rifle? It's easier to start front to back. It has standard M4 features, so it's got an A2 flash hider. It's got a government profile barrel, which I'm not the biggest fan of, and I really don't know why, other than they already have the molds and stuff like that, why they would do, still do the government profile, because it's not like anybody's using grenade launchers in the civilian market. And then if you were, you could always get a very specific barrel made if you already had that kind of money. So I don't know, kind of silly, but yeah, it's government profile barrel. For those who don't know, it puts more weight out towards the end, and it has this little notch cut in it for grenade launchers. Yeah, not very useful for us in the civilian realm. It's got a fixed front sight post, and yeah, I mean, it works fine. I didn't really ever use it, so it looks straight. I didn't crank on it or anything, because I was running this optic the whole time, and so I didn't even have a backup sight on there or a fixed sight to run that with. So sure, it works just fine. It looks straight, which is the main thing, and then it's adjustable. I did mess with that a little bit, just the elevation there. So anyway, going along, it's got M4 furniture, plastic, just a plastic handguard. I mean, that's swappable for lots of things out there, just your basic M4 carbine handguard. Nothing to say other than it's FDE. It came with other FDE furniture like this A2 stock, and it came with an A2 grip. I did swap that out because I had a Magpul SL K grip laying around, and so I swapped that out. It's just better. It doesn't have the finger groove, which is big for me. I hate that finger groove, but I mean, the A2 works, so whatever. Came with a regular forged 7075 T6 aluminum upper receiver. I had to purchase the lower separate because it came with a kit with everything minus the mag and the lower receiver. So that was just purchased extra, and it's just their regular like budget, you know, the cheapest one that they sell on there. Standard everything else, standard AR-15, crappy, you know, 6-pound trigger. It's fine. I literally never complain about the basic triggers. Like, yeah, when you get into a higher end trigger, they're better, but whatever, it works. Yeah, it's just standard everything else. Castle nut, which has been tightened by me and staked by me. That's one thing that I've noticed on a couple PSA lowers is they're loose on the castle nut because they're not staked. Granted, I think one of those was a blem, but the other one I don't think was. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's just one thing to look out for. Make sure you stake it. As far as attaching a sling, I just have, I'm just using the sling attachment points here. If I was running this more serious, I would probably just take these bungees off and just feed it through and tighten it down, but they work pretty well, front and rear on both of that, so that's fun. And then, like I said, regular A2 stock. Standard charging handle as well. I didn't like it running an optic like this. I hadn't ran a standard charging handle on a gun that I was using a lot in a while, and so it was like I forgot why people got away from those, and it's because of optics like the ACOG and other prisms where you run back this far. Actuating that is really tough. You have to like get your whole hand underneath there in order to actuate the charging handle. It sucks. And then the main things, the interesting parts about this are the barrel and the bolt carrier group. They're both nitrided, as far as I can tell. The barrel for sure is, and the bolt carrier to me looks like it's nitrided. It's got that kind of like shininess to it, rather than the phosphate. The cool part about that is more than what you get on a typical budget rifle. Usually, and historically, even with Palmetto State, you would get phosphate everything. And the problem with phosphate and not chrome lined is that wears the fastest out of all of them. Now, if you do phosphate and you're chrome lined, it's going to last longer typically than a nitride barrel. Unless you get into like a really high-end nitride barrel where they claim, something like Criterion will claim that they last about the same. I don't know. It's up to, you know, people get very into the weeds on that. But the main thing to me is it's cool that on such a cheap rifle you do get nitride stuff. And this is once again called a blem kit. And I'll have links in the description. But I didn't find a single blemish on here other than stuff that I've done to it, so I couldn't tell you. And PSA is known for that. They call lots of stuff blem, and I've never seen, I've bought lots of blem stuff from them, and I've never actually seen a blemish on them, so that works out. Let's get into the cool stuff. So the price on this bad boy is, the kit is $350, and then the lower that I got from Palmetto on sale was $30. So that brought, with shipping and taxes and stuff like that, that brought it to about $400. And then I get, I don't have to pay through transfers through my FFL, so that's where it comes out to. So $400 out the door, and then, you know, you'd have to pay a transfer fee and background check if you don't have it concealed. So that comes out to, you know, you factor all that stuff in, but for me it was $400, so I'm just gonna say $400. It's a little bit more than I believe the Bear Creek I got for $350 shipped, which was crazy. So this is a little bit different of an offering, and I don't remember exactly what the barrel was on that, but this is nitrided, which I believe that other one was phosphate. So you get a slightly better quality of barrel. Once again, though, it's carbine length gas, and the problem with carbine length gas systems is they are inherently gassy when suppressed. I'll cue in this clip here.
Like real ammo, I mean, you're perfect. So, like that is so soft.
So as you can see, it was undergassed, unsuppressed with once again steel ammo, so a little bit on the underpowered side, but still, I mean, I'm always impressed when a budget AR is undergassed right away, because I know I'm going to suppress it at some point, and so that's cool. Now, like every carbine length gas system I've ever ran suppressed, it's overgassed as soon as you put a suppressor on there. That's normal. Now, if you know, once again, this is a $400 gun, but if you did want to suppress it with a carbine length gas, you'd probably want to run a low back pressure can, and there are a billion options now out there, but the classic one that would be like 3 times the price of this, or even 4 times the price, would be like the Flow 556K from Huxworks. That would be a solid can. But like I said, it's almost 4 times as much as this gun was. So, but I mean, at that point, you know, you'd think you'd get a more expensive AR to go with the more expensive suppressor, but you do you. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money, just to review this nice cheap AR-15. As far as accuracy, it shot about a 2-inch group. I think it was a 1-inch group at 50, so 2-inch at 100. Solid performing, right at what I would want. I did stretch this bad boy out to 900 yards at one point. I was not very accurate with it, but most of that was not the gun. It was the shooter, and it was the optic, and the conditions. It was pretty windy. And the ammo. 55 grain ammo, 1-in-7 twist barrel, optic that only ranges to 800 yards on the BDC, and windy. Wasn't able to hit the target, but shot all around it. At 900 yards, that's way outside of what people would expect from an AR-15. So, I mean, I really can't complain. And it was just fun to do. And they were all landing probably within a 6-foot radius. It was all around the target, but no shots were landed. So that's a side note. Anyway, let's get into reliability.
All right, today we're doing the torture test of the Palmetto State $400 Blem rifle. We're gonna be shooting 7 mags today. We feel like that's a fair test to do a combat load of this, and I've recruited some child soldiers to help me in this feat. So we've already shot about 3 mags out of this, so it's already fairly hot. So I think we'll wash it off and then we'll get shooting. He is. That's where I got him from. We have an issue?
It's a jam.
All right, we got a little jam. That's the steel case. Okay, give me 1 second to unjam it. All right, balaclava man, we've unjammed it. Keep going. Nice. Are you happy to be retired from Wagner Group? All right, we've traded out balaclava guys for a much taller balaclava guy. Yep. Cool. New mag?
New mag.
Alrighty, well that's 7.
Yep, that's done.
So we had 3 different stoppages on this gun. They all ended up on film. I didn't have any off film, so that was cool. It's hard to fault the gun for any of those because as far as I can tell, all of them were using steel cased ammo. We had 1 jam in the actual gun, and then we had 2 more which were double feeds. So it's hard to fault the gun for that. Just, you know, I've shot through all my steel case and I don't think I'll be buying any more due to just the headache that it is, and with the war in Russia going on, all the cheap steel cases already used up. So I think we're done shooting steel case for a while and it's just brass from here on out. But yeah, as far as I could tell, all reliability issues were related to steel cased ammo, or at least being shot with steel case, so it's hard for me to fault any gun where that was the issue. That was a big issue with our Bear Creek Arsenal rifle. Now that BCA at the end of the test did gunk up with just brass case ammo, so that was a little bit suspect, but we had no issues with brass out of this rifle. Now as far as the price for what you get and everything like that, I think it's pretty incredible that you have a nitride barrel and probably nitrated bolt carrier group out of this $400 put together gun. Did have to assemble it yourself, but the main putting together lowers fairly easy. It's a little bit annoying, you know, with stuff going flying, but you know, other than the assembly, there's lots of YouTube videos out there assembling lowers, and they're pretty easy to figure out. Outside of that, the value is pretty good. Now, we have another offering coming up soon from Palmetto State, and it is with a free float barrel, an M-LOK handguard, and a mid-length gas system. So it's kind of all the upgrades that you would want out of this rifle, and that one, and with the metal handguard. And that one is coming up next, and it's also from Palmetto State. I would definitely prefer that rifle for my use case, where I definitely run every rifle suppressed, and so that's a big thing for me. But are you going to be disappointed with this gun? No. It's cheap, it shoots great, it's soft shooting when you're unsuppressed. Yeah, like I said, you guys know my complaints, but otherwise I think you would be happy. It performed admirably in our 990 rounds we got through this. I've been taking meticulous notes on all stoppages and all round count, and we got up to 990 rounds with only 3 stoppages, which I think for most rifles out there, period, that's pretty solid. So I was definitely impressed by this rifle, to say the least. So yeah, there's your 16-inch PSA carbine length Blem AR-15 review. Thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing, I forgot to disclose this at the beginning. I don't have a I do have an affiliate account with Palmetto State that I don't really use anymore, but I don't want people to think that I'm influenced by that. You know, you can think that I am, and there you go, but I wanted to at least disclose that and let people know, hey, I have an affiliate account with Palmetto State through a third party, so I just wanted that to be known.
Palmetto really knows how to help us pray the gateway.
You sure?
Oh yeah.
All right.